Somewhere above you, the stars have unlocked a gate. Not a myth, not a vision, but a cosmic vault that hasn't opened since the year 1226. They call it the Royal Gate, and it only opens for one sign, yours. For the past 2 years, you've given more than you received. You've watched others win with shortcuts while you built in silence. You thought the universe forgot, but the truth is, it was collecting interest. Now, between January 10th to 12th, a power surges through Capricorn, a power tied to legacy, to wealth, to something you earned through every sleepless night. This isn't just about destiny anymore. This is the return, the financial return, the royal return. But here's the truth. No one told you the gate is wide open, but not everyone will enter. So ask yourself, will you claim what's already yours, or will you hesitate and let another 800 years pass you by? Comment below, I see the gate, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. And once you feel it, you must act. Part 1. The Royal Cycle. Why 2026 changes everything for Capricorn. Capricorn. This isn't just another Mercury retrograde. This isn't an eclipse or a full moon ritual. This is something far older, far rarer, far more powerful. From January 10th to 12th, 2026, the sky performs a pattern that hasn't been seen since 1226 AD. A rare alignment of the Sun in Capricorn, Pluto's final presence in your sign, and a trine to retrograde Uranus in Taurus, all converging in a 72-hour window. The last time this happened, empires rose. Genghis Khan began his unstoppable conquest. The Medici planted the roots of Europe's most powerful banking dynasty. John D. Rockefeller laid the first stones of an oil empire. And what do they all have in common? Each time this cycle appeared, the universe didn't just reward work, it redistributed power. That's why ancient astrologers didn't publish these dates. They whispered them into the ears of kings. Because this alignment isn't for the masses, it's for those who endured. Those who built when no one was watching. Those who planted seeds with no promise of rain. Capricorn 2026 is not just another year. It's the year your return begins. The royal gate opens when Pluto, the planet of death, rebirth, and hidden wealth, reaches the end of its 16-year purge in your sign. Every broken structure in your life, relationships, career, self-worth wasn't destruction. It was demolition for reconstruction. And now the rebuilding begins. But not just for survival, for legacy. Because Capricorn, you didn't come this far to just endure. You came this far to inherit. Life lesson. What's built in silence is never lost. The universe stores it. And when the cycle turns, as it always does, it returns everything not all at once, but exactly when you're finally ready to receive it. Legacy doesn't come from luck. It comes from endurance. Comment below if this speaks to what you've been carrying in silence. Your path deserves to be seen. Part 2. The Trial Years. What 2024 and 2025 really meant, Capricorn. Let's not pretend these past 2 years didn't break you. They did. 2024 was a test of patience. 2025 was a test of faith. You gave your best not once, but over and over, and still, nothing seemed to move. The projects you launched silent. The people you supported gone. The energy you poured into your dreams evaporated. You began to wonder, was it all meaningless? Let me tell you something no astrologer ever says out loud. Karma doesn't always look like justice. Sometimes it looks like abandonment, until it doesn't. Because behind the silence, something ancient was unfolding. Your ruling planet Saturn was stationed at the 29th degree of Aquarius, the degree of karmic testing, the final exam before elevation. And Pluto, The great destroyer and rebuilder was completing its 16-year purge in your sign. If your business collapsed, if your relationships crumbled, if your body gave out, it wasn't failure, it was clearing. Pluto removes what cannot carry the weight of who you're becoming. And Saturn watches to see if you'll keep walking without applause. This wasn't punishment. It was refinement, a sacred dismantling. Because Capricorn, you were never meant to inherit your reward while still entangled in old structures. The delay was not denial. It was preparation. The universe wasn't asking you to hustle harder. It was asking, can you stay loyal to the path when the path disappears? Life lesson. Sometimes life doesn't test your ability. It tests your belief in yourself, in your timing, and the quiet promise you made to your soul. The years that feel like wastelands are often the years that build your roots, and nothing lasting grows without deep roots. Comment below if you felt this exact test and if you're still standing, because that means you've already passed more than you know. Part 3. The Missed Signs. Did you see what the universe sent on January 9th, Capricorn? 2 days ago, the universe whispered, but not everyone heard it. January 9th wasn't just another Tuesday. It was a turning point disguised as a quiet day. And if you're watching this video now, you may already feel it in your gut. Something happened, but you didn't know what it meant. That's because the language of the universe is subtle, and most people aren't trained to hear it. But you are different, because the Capricorn soul has always understood structure, even when it's invisible. So let me ask you, did you see repeating numbers on that day? 111, 444, 888. On clocks, receipts, license plates, phone notifications. If you did, that wasn't random. That was code. 111, a beginning of abundance. 444, foundations being laid beneath your feet. 888, flow, money, acceleration. Or maybe you had a dream. One with water oceans, rivers, waterfalls. One with gold coins, bars, jewelry. Capricorn dreams with water or gold are not fantasy. They're messages from the field of future probability, a ripple across the veil of time. Or maybe someone from your past resurfaced. A message, a like, a comment, a call. Someone you hadn't thought about in years. That wasn't nostalgia, that was a returning key. Capricorn. The universe doesn't knock with noise, it knocks with patterns. And those patterns appeared for you on January 9th. If you missed them, don't panic, because the message didn't disappear, you just didn't decode it yet. And there's still time to respond. Life lesson. Signs are never missing. Only our awareness is. The universe is always speaking, but only the quiet-hearted can hear. The more still you become, the louder the signal gets. And when you finally learn the language of timing, you stop calling things coincidence. Comment below if this stirred a memory from January 9th. You may have seen a sign, and this video just helped you remember. Part 5. The Action Gate. What you must do on January 11th to 12th before it closes. Capricorn. The gate is open right now, but here's the truth. No one tells you. The universe never walks you through it. You must decide to step in. January 10th marked the moment the Sun in Capricorn aligned in exact trine with retrograde Uranus in Taurus, unlocking the corridor of power that only appears once every 800 years. But today, January 11th, is where the real test happens, because today isn't about waiting, it's about acting. And not just any action, bold action. Uranus is the planet of breakthrough. Taurus rules the material world. When they align through your sign, the message is clear. Move now and you shift your future. Wait, and the door closes until 28:34. So what must you do in these 72 hours? Here is your 3-step directive. No mysticism, only precision. Step 1. Set your one goal. Not 5. Not vague intentions. One tangible material outcome. The exact amount of money, the title, the contract, the opportunity you know you deserve. Write it down by hand as if it's already yours. Not I hope. Write I receive the exact thing. Then burn the paper. Scatter the ashes outside. You are no longer clinging. You are claiming. Step 2. Take one bold action today. Not next week. Not when things feel more certain. Uranus doesn't reward hesitation. Send the message you've been avoiding. Call the person your pride has silenced. Publish the offer. Submit the pitch. Apply for what you believe is out of reach. Step 3. Gratitude. Tomorrow on January 12th, before the gate closes, write down 10 things you are thankful for, including the pain. The pain cleared space. The delay built your discipline. The people who left made room for those who are coming. Capricorn, you've already paid in full. This is not about earning anymore. It's about aligning. If you do this clearly, intentionally, urgently, you won't need to ask when the breakthrough is coming. You'll be the one creating it. Life lesson. Most people wait for miracles. But miracles respond to movement. In the end, it's not the ones who hope the longest who inherit. It's the ones who act when the door is open, even if their hands are still shaking. Comment below if you're taking your action today. Let this be the moment you stepped through the gate, not the moment you watched it close. Part 5. The Legacy Pattern. How History Shows. Capricorn always rises after collapse. Capricorn, this pattern, this royal cycle, it isn't just theory. It's written in history, in blood, in empire, in gold. In 1434, the Medici family had spent 15 years building a fragile banking network across Europe. Everyone doubted them. Their competitors mocked them. Even their own relatives said, "It's a waste of time," but the skies aligned. And within 3 years of a rare planetary cycle, they didn't just succeed. They became the financial rulers of the continent. In 1870, John D. Rockefeller had spent a decade in poverty. 10 years of ridicule. 10 years of silent building. He didn't launch his oil empire when he was confident. He launched it when he was exhausted. Capricorn, do you see the pattern? Every time the universe prepares to shift power, it first strips the worthy down to nothing. Then, and only then, it rebuilds through them. And who were these people? They weren't born kings. They weren't chosen by fortune. They were chosen by perseverance. This is the Capricorn archetype. You are the builder, the one who survives collapse and learns to build again with fewer materials but more mastery. You don't rise quickly, you rise permanently. So if you feel like the last 2 years have left you with nothing, good. That means you're standing at the starting line of your real dynasty. Life lesson. The fall isn't the end. It's the clearing. The most powerful legacies in the world weren't born from advantage. They were born from ruins. What matters is not how fast you build, but what your foundation is made of. And Capricorn, yours is stone. Comment below if this reminds you that your legacy doesn't need permission, only perseverance. History remembers those who endured. Part 6. The Return of Faith, and why that's the real reward. Capricorn, you've been promised many things. Breakthrough, recognition, abundance. But here's the truth. The real reward isn't the money. It's not the status. It's not the crown. It's that moment when you believe again. Because that's what the last 2 years almost stole from you. Not just energy, not just stability, but your belief in timing, your belief in meaning, your belief in you. And yet, here you are, still breathing, still building, still watching the sky for signs. That means they failed. The world tried to harden you, but you turned your scars into stone, the kind that builds empires. So yes, the gate is still open. Yes, the return is still coming. But the most powerful thing the universe gives back isn't financial. It's your faith. And with it, everything else becomes possible again. Life lesson: when belief returns, so does power. So does clarity. So does movement. If you've found your faith again, you've already won. Because the heart that believes again can build anything. And Capricorn, you were born to build. Comment below if this reawakened something in you. And if it did, don't just watch. Subscribe to Zodiac Secrets Revealed. Because your story as a Capricorn is still being written and you don't have to walk it alone anymore.